John, is your last name Waka?
It is Waka, yeah.
Jon Walka.
Jon Walka.
And what is that? What ethnicity is that?
So the last name is Polish. So if you're really pronouncing it right, we'd say the W like a V. So it'd be like a Walka. I mean, in all my years of education, I've had one teacher ever pronounce it correctly. And I was like, how do you know that? And he's like, well, I'm 100% Polish. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I when I heard your name, that was my second guess. I go, oh, Asian guy, and then someone goes, nope, and I go, Polish guy. They're like,
That's
yep,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime
I
I
to
just
the point,
go ahead.
I was gonna say to the point where I've had people like I grew up in like North Jersey and like hometown people. We were right next to Wallington as a giant like Polish community. And they're like, your name was probably changed. And I'm like, no, it's always been this way. And they're like, no, like Ellis Island, they probably changed it. I'm like, no, like you could literally go to Ellis Island and see like my family's names on there, like when they came across, like it's Polish and it means like warrior, fighter. Awesome last name.
Oh, dude, it's an awesome last name. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great name, Jon Walka. As soon as I see W, I default to Polish. I don't know why.
I mean, it's that and like the EW or the like Chkowski type names, all those.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
coming out of the gate, hot. Okay, what kind of car is this?
Oh man, this is like my like pride and joy car. This is my Toyota 4Runner.
Oh, you have the flip up seats in the back.
Yeah, and man, so this was like obviously in the back. I got my twins. We had twins, and we were like, we need a car with a third row because this was a trip we took to Massachusetts, like a 4.5, 5 hour drive. If we had the three of them in the back seat where they were all next to each other, it would have been yes, 4 hours. It would have we wouldn't have made it to there. So we have it set up this way where they'll kind of alternate. Sometimes we'll put the car seats or the boosters for the little guys in the middle, and then my oldest will sit in the back. But yeah, the 4Runner with the third row is the best car I've ever purchased.
Okay, so I have a 4Runner with the third row. I've never opened it up. I also have twin boys and another boy. So I have 3 boys. I can't wait. How old are your boys?
So little guys are 5.5, we'll call it, and my oldest is 8.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly. I have we're just a little ahead of you. I have a 10-year-old and 2 8-year-olds.
Oh yeah, like dude, this is a game changer. Like I actually look at some people with the pilot seats. One of our coaches at our jiu-jitsu gym,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu CrossFit gym, he's got the pilot seats for his, and he has 3 kids too. And I'm like, man, the pilot seats are a game changer because they're also like sectioned off, and it's easy to get in and get out.
I have my primary car. My wife usually drives the 4Runner. My primary car, I drive a 2016 Toyota Sienna.
Oh, nice.
And I have the 2 bucket seats, and then I have the
Yeah.
bench in the back. And it is pretty wild. Like they think every trip is like, hey, you want to do car wrestling? I mean, they don't call it that, but that's. I look in the rearview mirror. I'm like, I cannot believe you guys. This is bonkers back there.
Oh yeah, everywhere. We just took like a 2.5 hour ride on Tuesday up to outside like New York City area, Goshen, New York, to Legoland.
Yeah.
But again, like it was like having the separation, like just little guys just kind of zone out in their world. My 8-year-old zones out in his world, and it's like perfect.
Hey, there's a Legoland in San Diego. My kids, when I've taken there, have loved it. I thought it was the most ghetto place ever. I thought it was the most low rent amusement park ever. How was your Legoland? I was like, they were having a blast, but I'm like, wow, this is like the carnies are in town. You know what I mean? It was so basic.
Yeah, like I grew up to like a Disney kid. Like my
Yeah.
parents, well, maybe not all the way, but like when I was like 9, like we had our first Disney trip. My parents loved it, and we had like a family group of friends who went basically every year. Wound up being like 20 of us who would take like the trip down, which was just awesome experiences in its own right. So like I've always had like theme parks to me were like Disney here, and that's like always my like test. And like when I walk into Legoland, I'm like, man, Lego's got so much money on their own, and I'm like, they just don't even hold like a glass of water to like what Disney's done. And
Okay,
it's
that makes me feel good. I didn't want to hear you say no. It's the greatest park ever. I mean, the kids liked it. What do I care? I mean, I
kids
like if
loved it.
they're having
Exactly. Yeah.
fun. What do I care? But I'm just like, wow. Sevan, you sure is bougie for someone who is homeless. Yeah, I'm. It is what it is. Oh, look at this. Someone, are you a coach also, John? Someone, let me see. Someone in here said, someone said, "Good morning, coach," or something. Let me see. Where did I see that? Someone said it's Coach John. Damn, I lost that comment already. Are you a coach?
Well, yeah, I do coach. So I coach jiu-jitsu. I coach barbell club at so we have Beacon Mixed Martial Arts and Fitness in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So we are 3/4 of the place is mats for jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, striking, kickboxing, all those things. And then like the back, I don't even know, like square footage wise, maybe 2,000, 1,600. We have a CrossFit gym. I'll do a barbell club once a week. So yeah, always had like coaching in my blood. I still coach. I coach in the jiu-jitsu world multiple times a week because my kids do it, and it's I do it, and it's a lot of fun.
How long have you been a practitioner of jiu-jitsu?
Oh man, so I've always tried to like figure out this. I did it before my oldest son, so I've been doing it for at least like 8-ish, almost 9 years at this point.
Wow, consistently?
Consistently, yeah. So it started out because Amit, who founded Wodify, he goes back before even Wodify starts. He comes from like jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. Like he did that stuff. He loved that world. And the head coach, Bob Peach, awesome guy, call him Peach. He eventually got him at Wodify to do classes for the employees. So we were at our office. We had gym space. We had mats we rolled out 2 or 3 times a week, and we were doing classes. It eventually led to people slowly dropping out, but I was doing it. We were doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and then it just really just led to me doing jiu-jitsu. And Peach is awesome. Like he basically gently pushed me into do jiu-jitsu more. He's like, we should do jiu-jitsu 2 days a week, 3 days a week. I'm like, yeah, I'm game. Like, let's do it. We used to do no gi, and then he's like, you should buy a gi. I'm like, what's a gi? He's like, that's the uniform they wear. And I'm like, yeah, I'll look into it. And I was like, I'll look into it. That was like on a Wednesday. On Friday, he comes with a gi like in a bag. He's like, here you go, man. Just Venmo me $70 and we're doing gi jiu-jitsu from now on. And like, I was like, okay, I'm in. And like, jiu-jitsu is wild in its own right, and just the way that everything you learn, like there's just so much going on. And like, to me, I'm a knowledge guy. Like I like to really dive into things and understand stuff. So, I mean, I'm 9 years in, and there's still a giant book of stuff that I have no clue about in that world.
Are you a fan of also watching jiu-jitsu? Do you watch it, or do you watch fighting?
Yeah, I do. And that's like, it's funny. One of my friends and I were having this conversation, and we were just saying, like, because we have like the jiu-jitsu and MMA backgrounds, like sometimes people will see a fight go to the floor and be like, oh, this is so boring. And I'm like, this is so hard what's going on right now, and so technical. So I love watching it. I've gotten more into like watching like grappling matches and like, the CJI Invitational and those type of things that have kind of gone off in the last couple of years.
Yeah, when the first so my boy's been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, and it's a lot. It's 6 days a week, sometimes 2 a days, and the first 2 years I had no idea what was going on. And it was also because they were 4 and 5 years old when they started. And then finally when they turned like 6, 7, 8, and then now it's like I cannot believe how much I can see, and it's changed like, it's exactly what you said. I get so frustrated when I'm watching the UFC and the ref will break up the fights.
Yeah.
When I know that they're fighting for position, and I'm like, oh, come on. But the crowd's booing. But I mean, you're watching at home, so you have a great camera angle. I'm like, oh, come on, let him go. Let him go. I want to see.
Oh yeah. Like, especially when you get like a really good jiu-jitsu guy, like I want to see him work and see what he could come out with. And then, yeah, when they stand him up, that always gets me so angry.
So this, you're also employed. So did you say the founder of Wodify, his name, did you say Omid?
Amit,
Amit, like AMIT.
Yeah, Ameet.
Okay. Oh, just how it sounds. Okay, Amit.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
how did you meet him?
All right. So we'll rewind the clock. So we go back to CrossFit Aspire, old CrossFit gym in the South Jersey area. So basically, do you remember Paleo Kits and Steve's Club?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
that was sad when they
So,
closed. That was the snack.
yeah, it was. Yeah. So that's located a town over from us. And it was the first South Jersey CrossFit gym area. And it wasn't even a gym at that when they first start up. It's literally Steve Liberati's guy's name is. He was bringing barbells to a park and they were running CrossFit workouts. And then they eventually get a location. But from there, kind of spawned like the next South Jersey generation of CrossFit gyms. You have CrossFit Aspire opens up. CrossFit One Force. One of them goes into Philly. CrossFit Center City opens up. So they kind of start to spawn out. And being in Cherry Hill, like Amit and I both wind up at CrossFit Aspire. And we're friends. Like we became friends there first and foremost. And then, yeah, so like I pinpoint this this memory. It's also funny too because the gym I'm at now is literally down the block from where Aspire was. Unfortunately, they closed. So like I drive past like that location, 3-4 times a week at this point. But like I remember being in the parking lot of that place when Amit was like, "Hey, I'm going to start a company," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. What are you going to do?" He's like, "We're going to track results better in CrossFit." And I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh, this is awesome! Like, how could I help out?" Like, it was like a nice like fall day. We were outside pushing the prowler. He's like, "What do you mean? How can you help out?" I'm like, "This sounds awesome. Like, there's nothing great out there. Like, there was another app that was really not the best." So it's like, "Yeah, like I want to help you out. This is really cool." And then like fast forward like 6-7 months, he's like getting ready to launch. So I went up to like the Northeast regional with him to like go tell people about Wodify because CrossFit Aspire was the first gym to actually use it. And that eventually turned into I was a teacher before that, but turned into me leaving the education world and moving into selling software to people like me.
Hey, what year was that Wodify was founded?
So it probably gets like wireframed and built over like the winter of 2011 into 2012. And then 2012 is kind of like the beginning of 12, where it's really starting to get tested out in a few South Jersey gyms. And it launches that first, that like Memorial Day weekend for the regionals in 2012.
Is he similar to you? Is he a family guy? Does he have kids? And
Yeah, at this point, he's got older kids, teenagers. But yeah, he's got a family, town over from me at this point.
and you didn't have kids at the time.
No, I was like, I wasn't a CrossFit bum, but I was like I drank the Kool-Aid, like I was all in.
Yeah.
So his story was basically like, "Hey, I love CrossFit, but I'm the tech guy. Like I need a CrossFitter to go out there and like, if we go to a gym, like I could throw down, but like you could throw down. Like I want you to like be the guy who's gonna go out and like sell the product, go to these places." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." I'm in.
Oh, and what was his background? Was he a programmer?
Yeah, he's got his background's insane. Like he's put so before Wodify, or I should say during Wodify, there was another company called Conagent, which was basically implementing like ERP type solutions for like larger companies. Like they've done stuff for like Ralph Lauren and Polo. They did stuff for Sheets, a big like Northeast East Coast guest company or guest chain. So they
ERP
were
stands for
basically building.
Enterprise Resource Planning. Is that what ERP
Yes,
is?
yeah.
I
Sorry, I
googled it.
forgot.
Okay,
Not everybody knows
that's okay.
those
That's
acronyms.
okay.
So yeah, so he was doing like these larger companies, but he's had this like background in the software world. Went to the Business of Software convention just because he was kind of like not bored of it, but he wanted to change, and he went to this place and he got really inspired of like he went to Business of Software to see all these people creating products. He didn't have a product. He's like, well, I want a product that I could really like love and be part of. And at the time, like, CrossFit was, especially on the affiliate level, there was an rusty old filing cabinet, a bunch of papers, you would write down stuff. And he was a data guy. Like his best stuff when he was doing bodybuilding stuff in college was because he tracked everything religiously, like did those things. It was like, I could do this better and I could make it digital. And then
Is he
that's
born in this?
essentially,
Is he born in this
yeah,
country? He is.
yeah, yes.
Were his parents immigrants?
Elizabethtown, PA.
Were his parents immigrants?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. I want to say yes. I want to say yes, but I don't know the exact
He's
answer.
Indian.
He's Indian, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm in the Bay Area, tons of Indians and Asians all over from because we're right here by Silicon Valley, right? I'm just over the hill, 17 miles, and so and they're God, smart people, great culture, families are tight, healthy people, good values. I mean, it's the kind of people you want as your neighbors. It's cool that you hooked up with someone like that. And I was thinking, and now you have 3 kids, and how nice it must be. It's nice when you find your people. You know what I mean? You find people who are
Yeah.
on that same path. And is that what is he? Are you guys full time now? Wodify? Is he full time Wodify?
He's taken like a little bit of a step back in the last couple years. But I mean, I've been full-time Wodify since 2012. Basically, I left teaching that summer and then never turned back. Like it was just a full-time gig from the beginning for me.
What did you teach, John?
So I was a early education. I did second and third grade. I was in the 4th year of teaching, and I was on my path to I'm 2 classes short of having a master's in education administration. My goal was to become a principal.
Okay.
And then this opportunity came up. Like I remember going to, like, my parents live in Florida now, but like flying down and having the conversation with them. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take a shot working for a meet, and I want to try this out. Like I want to see what I could do here. Teaching's not going anywhere. I have a fallback if I really needed to. I'm only 4 years in. I know I have the path of, I spent a lot of money on a master's that I basically never used, or was spending a lot of money on a master's that I never used. But yeah, Wodify took off shortly after, and I never had to look back into it.
Were your parents supportive, or were they nervous?
They're definitely nervous, but I think like knowing that, I'm going to say this in the right way. Like knowing that, like I've always had a good head on my shoulders.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, like we'll let him make this decision. Like my dad's fine with things. He'll just kind of go along with it. My mom, it was just basically like justifying my positioning, and she was actually it was way easier for her to be on board than I thought. Like I thought she was going to be like, this company's brand new. They literally have, I think at the time we had like no paying customers. Like when I was like, I want to do this.
When I first started at CrossFit, and even before, my mom wanted me to get a job like at Starbucks so bad so that I could get health insurance. And the fact that I was just sitting in a room at her house, just editing videos and, doing all sorts of work for free and not giving I mean, I didn't even think health insurance. Why would I need that? And now I'm working for a company where a bunch of dudes lift weights, and not even working for free. I remember like parents, bad choice, right? Because they want stability for the kid, right? Like, hey, get a job at Starbucks, start as a barista in a couple of years, you'll be a manager of a store and shit. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine your parents, you're on the path to become a principal, a dignified, respected person in the community, and now you're going to go work for an app that tracks people's curls.
Yeah, like they didn't really get that part too, which was funny. Side note, just because the videos, I have to bring this up because I was like, that's your videos, the behind the games 2011, behind the games 2012, like a day with Rich and Graham, that like video, those are like the best videos. I was actually doing research prior to this because at the time you didn't really know who these athletes were unless you like happened to go train with them. And like,
right.
I was like, when was Instagram big? And like, apparently Instagram didn't even come out for Android until 2012, 2013. So I'm like, this was the look that nobody had about these guys. And it's funny, like I went back and I was watching the 2011 one, which you could see the guys, the CrossFit, like guys and girls who are new, who didn't understand you or didn't understand what was going on, who were just like shy. And then you watch 2012 and they're like actually interacting and talking. And it was, dude, that's still today the pinnacle, in my opinion, of like what changed the behind the games footage, like all that stuff made it so awesome.
You know what's crazy, dude, is I heard this statement the other day. I don't know if it's true, but I suspect it's true, that when LeBron James started playing basketball, there was no Facebook. And I remember when I worked for CrossFit and I would have a video published, I couldn't believe that I could make a video and 2 hours later the world could see it. That's how new like YouTube was in publishing and having an audience. It was like you would be like, "Oh my god, 100 people just saw a video I made." Because before, if when Apple first came out with Final Cut Pro 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there was nowhere to like I used to have to take a tape down to public access. Every town and
Wow.
county would have its, and you would give them the tape, and then they would play it on, on some station where some other guys like talking about UFOs. You know what I mean? I mean, do you remember public access stations? All that
Oh
weird
yeah,
shit that would be
yeah.
on there. Like someone would just play the violin for an hour, and that was their
Yeah.
show.
Anybody could basically have a show. It's funny for like our kids aren't going to get like the world that we lived in, and just seeing like so much technology change in the span of 20 years, 25 years,
Yeah,
or maybe
I mean,
less.
you couldn't communicate with anyone. You had one phone. It hung in the kitchen in your house. Um,
Yeah.
and now it's like every Tom, Dick, and Harry has access to all 8 billion people.
Yeah, it's wild. We were just, do your kids have phones yet?
No,
Do you use any of the like tracking watches with them at all?
I don't.
It's funny. We were just with our cousins at Legoland, and like they bought their 9, 10-year-old daughter one of the tracking watches where they could call them and call home, and like they go out in the neighborhood, and I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's something now. I'm like, my oldest son can go ride his bike around, and like the other day, my wife like came outside and she was like, "Where are the boys?" And I was like, "Well, Blake took the three of them on a bike ride." Oh man, that was like 15 minutes ago, and thankfully I seen him like riding down the block. So I'm like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
like, I might like look into now these tracking ones just to be able to be like, look, go be a boy, go. We have like woods and stuff
yeah.
around where it's like, go play in the woods. As long as I know where you are, cool.
I was at I don't even let my kids like look at my phone. Like I don't let them touch my phone. Anything
Same.
like if it rings, I never ask them to get it. But the other day, my kids are homeschooled, so they're really, really sheltered. And the other day, I was at I was visiting a friend in Arizona, and they were at a trampoline park. And when we were in the car on the way home, one of them said, "Oh, that was weird that girl had to rush away." And I go, "What girl?" I go, "That." They go, "That girl we were jumping with on the trampoline." I go, "What happened?" He goes, "One of her friends texted her and told her she was going to commit suicide, so she said she had to leave." And I go, "How old was that girl?" And they go 8. I'm
Ugh.
like, "Holy sh—" And then they're
Ugh.
like,
Yeah.
"What's suicide?" And I'm like, "Oh god. Oh my god." Like, you guys aren't getting phones till you're 20.
Yeah. I remember getting my first one at like 17, 18. Whenever I got my license, it was like, you need this in case you have to call, but it was like emergency only. Don't
Yeah.
call. There wasn't like free nights and weekends or anything like that at the time. So you basically were just like on a minute by minute plan. And yeah, like
Yes.
I didn't call unless I like needed to.
How old are you?
40, I'll be 41 in a couple months.
41, okay. So when Amit comes to you with this Wodify idea, and you say, "Yeah, let me know how I can help," that means you're employee number 1.
Yeah, yeah, I'm employee number one. Yep.
And I know that that's a very special thing. When I was probably employee number 6 or 7 at CrossFit, and I remember because of that, I didn't realize it until I got fired, and and the company sold. But I got to experience something that probably a lot of people will never experience. I got to experience ownership, meaning I took ownership in everything I did. Even though it wasn't my company, I acted like it was. And
Yeah.
it's a really special place to be because everything has value. Life has so much value. There's so much happiness. There's so much presence. There's so much reward. Do you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I still look at like my job. Like I have such a connection to Wodify that like whatever happens in the future, if I'm here, if I'm not here, like if I'm not at like this startup phase, I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how I could ever relate anymore to like another company that's like been existing, and if I came in and did sales there, like what that would feel like, because I've just had this ownership to like what we were doing since day one. Like I could remember stories of, so back in the early days, Wodify we did really one thing. We tracked workouts, and you could put in a strength and a Metcon. And then we realized that like not everybody did it that way. So we had to kind of reconfigure the workout builder or the way we scored workouts. And like, it wasn't like we had a staff. It was basically a meet and I remember the one day, like I had to go coach classes, coach 2 classes, went back to the office, and him and I like stayed in all night to the morning, basically looking at how we're going to wireframe this on a whiteboard, like writing down like all these things, and then going to like, let's go to CrossFit Invictus's workouts. Da, 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 da. Can we track this? Can we do this? Okay, that has this in it. Okay, we got to add that in. Let's go to, you know, whatever program, you know, some of the bigger ones like OPT at the time or whatever they are now. But you know what I'm saying? Like we were going through all like the big ones and just making sure that if somebody wanted to use us, we gave them options. But like that wasn't a programming and developing team. It was basically like a meet and I just sitting there and doing these things. And then eventually it went to the developers, but like we were the guys who were the front lines. And like, you know, that the memory of that is, as much as it was probably a late night and tiring, it was awesome experience. Like I could never trade that in.
Basically reverse engineering what the app needed to do.
Yeah, exactly right. Like we had to make sure we were doing everything because we wanted to get it out there to everyone. So like it would stink if somebody was like, hey, we follow, just use them again, CrossFit Invictus programming. They could get pretty in depth. You guys can't do that, so we can't use Wodify. It was like, oh man, that stinks. Like we can't even work around it. So it was basically re-engineering it to make sure that it can.
And today, so it started as just tracking apps. And was it? You said it was free in the beginning?
No, it was for like the first initial like South Jersey people. We were just like,
Yeah.
we need people to use it, so it was free for like
Yeah.
a few of the ones in the area. And then we originally had this idea of a price point that was like per member pricing. $1.75 per member was the original price. And then we realized that, you know, again, we don't know what we don't know. So we're in South Jersey where everyone's like roughly 50 to 100 members, because CrossFit like didn't hit the boom yet. And before that, like it was like the 2012 games beyond is when it really like starts to boom. So we're like, yeah, most gyms are maybe like 50 to 100 most. So we kind of were thinking that. And then we started attracting gyms that, you know, like I remember one of them, CrossFit Boston, like having like 200-300 members. And we're like, whoa, hold on a sec. Like now the pricing to track workouts is getting like astronomical. So we had to like eventually add features, rewrite some stuff in the beginning. But yeah, it was a lot of like growing and learning as we went in the beginning.
How did it affect your relationship? Because I'm guessing there's a big difference between. I have a friend who's working on an app now, and I feel very reserved in giving him ideas because I know implementation of ideas is far more difficult than coming up with ideas. So when you're working with him, are you sensitive to that in the beginning? Like, do you figure out like it's kind of like cueing someone? You're like, hey, you better not give them too many cues because then they all go out the door. Was that a trip working with him at first, like trying to figure out like how many ideas you could give before he'd be like, hey, how about fuck you?
No, no. I think what I've always had in my head too, and like I think what's cool about Wodify, like to this day, Amit is the owner, the founder of the company. Like anytime I would talk to him about anything, like even early days stuff, if he was like, "No, I think that's stupid," in my head, I'm like, "Well, this is your company and your product. Like that's fine. Like I'm
Yeah.
okay with that." So, and I think like in the early days, like we were throwing stuff out there where, yeah, if he didn't think that was the right move, like okay, like let's pivot or talk about it some other way, or it's just not going to happen.
I don't attend an affiliate regularly. I've never owned an affiliate, so my knowledge on this was like really limited. So I only knew about there was some app that my wife used when she went to a gym, and I remember everyone put in their, and my mom used it, and everyone put in their scores in it every day, and I think they could communicate with the other members. And then there was another app where I did that contacted me many years ago, and they're like, "Hey, we don't have any kids programming. Would you put your kids programming on it?" So I made like a little 50 pack. And then a couple days ago, Sousa's like, "Hey, let's pull up Wodify and let me take you through it." And I was like, "Holy shit." I couldn't believe all the stuff it did. Can you walk me through because you said that you started as just a tracking, but now it's everything, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. Like we started just tracking, and then what was cool is we're Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Philadelphia suburb, and like in the beginning, we were going to gyms and like literally showing up. We called it Johnny Five, but like in the early days, like we rolled up with a TV, and again, like the CrossFit back then, like gyms were not digital. They were not that they weren't nice, but there was, it was very gritty and that stuff.
Yep.
So we were rolling in with like, we were the tech squad. We would bring their workout, we put it up so they could see like the digital experience and kind of have that experience there. And that's how we kind of sold it to some of the original like area gyms. What started to happen to that too was people started to use it, and they'd say like, "Oh, it'd be great if you can like bill your members through this, or it'd be great if you can do a class reservation system," like features that are super common now, but like there was not really a system made for CrossFit. Like there were a couple out there that people used, but it wasn't for the industry. And like we basically through 2012 through like 15, 16 spent the time to just build and kind of connect those dots to now start to put business and workout tracking in one software.
So the people can track their workouts on it. Affiliates can run their business on it, do their billing and track all their client stuff. I don't know what that involves. That sounds wild. But the part that Susan then showed me the other day is someone like me, if I wanted to do another set of workouts that for my kids, now that they're older, like the first set I did, I made sure I didn't put any equipment, but I was like, fuck it, I should just do another one that's just like, hey, this is really how they work out. I can sell my individual programming through Wodify too.
Yeah. So it's basically grown from a gym doing it that way, but now it's really expands to the space. Because like if you think about it, like gym owners now are a lot more knowledgeable. They have a lot of things they're looking to do. They're trying to make careers, not just businesses at this point.
Right.
So like you can now run your business in the affiliate because it's digital. You could also take this outside it and kind of grow online. I'll shout him out too because I love his content. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with it. I know you're friends with him, Andrew Hiller.
Yeah. Oh, he
Hiller's
uses
awesome.
Wodify.
Uses Wodify. He's built basically an online gym. So what's great is the members he has are all over the US, all over the world. And he puts his programming on there, creates his different tracks. They can follow it. Now from there, they're building community virtually versus like inside it. Like you can comment, you can track your results, you can see that history. So like that's now able to be done from an affiliate standpoint. They could now, like Susan could now offer like Livermore online programming. Now that's a great extension to the business because now he say, look guys, if you can't come to the gym today, I have these at-home workouts, right? Like you can do these and like basically add as many different programs. We have media libraries, so you can kind of continue your footprint. So your gym member who maybe can only come twice a month because he drops it or he travels for work can now stay connected while they're not there.
And when you say billing, like if someone walks into the gym and they're like, hey, I want to sign up, and they want to swipe their credit card and pay for 3 months, they do that through the gym owner has a Wodify subscription and they do that?
That's how that works? So they can, yeah. So think of, right, like if you think of it could be a storefront. Like the way today, like social media has been very crowded too. So what's been nice about Wodify the last couple of years we make we do a lot of feature updates. We're probably the only ones who do them every 2 weeks. We do zero downtime feature updates. So for our side of it, we still continuously update and add new features. Two of the bigger features over the last couple of years has been a completely in-house website. And the other one is we call Wodify workflows. So Wodify workflows is basically ways to help automate the business. It could be as easy as automating tasks for your coaches to take out the trash at night, but it gets as in-depth as full marketing automation type things. And basically, basically taking things where, I mean, if you look at a coach who coaches the 6:30, the 7:30 a.m.s, the noons, the 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, like the guys in the grind, we can now automate the lead follow-up, the somebody who booked a free trial. So they're not necessarily having to coach 9 classes and then get on the computer and start messaging people or texting people or answering phones. So we've really put a lot of automation in the last 2 years, combine that with a website now with SEO optimization. It's really become this like package of a one-stop shop where you don't have to software switch, find different, resources to do marketing or pay way more to do marketing. You have this one-stop shop for everything.
Harvest, CrossFit, WOD tracking is literally the least important part of Wodify. The core piece of any gym software is billing. Yeah, but I mean that right for you, Harvest CrossFit. I fully get that. If I was a gym owner, the billing would be the most important part to me too. But when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this like inspires me to want to put out another set of programming just to have it out there. I don't make any real money off of it, but it's a cool piece to contribute out there and build my own memories.
Yeah,
and for Hiller, it's got to be crazy important, right? Because he's got this great program, and he's got his community is savage, right? He's got a really tight knit community.
Yeah,
so he probably loves the fact that he can keep them all organized through Wodify.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously he's growing that thing daily. But he has that organization, and the Harvest CrossFit piece, though, I do agree with them. Like the business pieces are definitely very important, but like if you don't have the member engagement in those members,
yeah,
you don't have a gym anymore. So like they both have to balance pretty well. I think the nice part of it is when you as a gym owner don't have to worry about like, I got to spend 5 hours doing this, 5 hours doing this. And now all of a sudden my day's like shot. Like, okay, I'm automating a lot of this work. Now I'm saving time. I could go back to coaching great classes and spending my time on the floor where it's more important, because then I build the community and the member base, and I could not forget about, but I could put the billing, the scheduling, all those type of things, the automated email systems on cruise control, where let me go focus on coaching a really good class.
I get these emails from Hiller, being part of Hiller Fit. Does he do that through Wodify too?
Yeah, so he could run it all through us. I don't know exactly if he's using us, but we, for that piece, like I know Andrew has content everywhere right now, which is awesome for him. But we have basically our Wodify workflows lets you kind of control based off of, we'll say, your role. So Sevan, you're a member of Hiller. And based off of your membership types, things like that, we could kind of have specific follow-up emails kick off. Same thing as if I was just like a lead in Hiller Fit, like where I'm like, hey, I filled out a form in his website. I don't know if I buy completely in. He could have a set of emails that are following up my first week telling me to try this workout, do these things. And now for Andrew, he could be going to the Mayhem Classic where he was and not having to worry about sending John, the guy in New Jersey, follow-up emails to try to get me to join Hiller Fit. Like it's automating that process.
Yeah. One time I made an inquiry about some guy who I had on the show who was a runner, and I signed up for his website, and then every 2 weeks an email came. So you're saying like that's the kind of stuff you can have automated. Someone like he gets a lead, and Wodify will help him chase down the lead and poke the person once a week or whatever you set up through Wodify.
Yeah, and it goes even deeper than that. So like I remember this story from last year. A gym owner, man, I should have wrote down the name, but the first time he had somebody that was an old client come back, like he messaged us and was like, look, he was an old client. I activated this workflow to reach out to people who haven't been or haven't had a membership in a certain amount of time. This guy got an email. He signed up. He's like, I didn't have to do anything, and I got a client back that's already been in my gym before. So like these long-term ones are also in there, like inactive clients. I mean, you could even get into like the weeds of specific membership types, which now could potentially bring to upsell. Like maybe there is a like 2-time-a-week membership, but we know that if you're coming 3 to 5 times a week, that's where I want you at. So maybe after the first 60 days of the 2-time-a-week membership, they're getting an email like, are you ready to upgrade? Why don't you try coming 3 to 5 times a week, or those type of things? And you could basically customize how you want to build that out.
Sevi, you're talking about the billing piece like it's secondary feature. It's not a feature. It's the reason for the program. No, actually, the reason for the program was for tracking workouts, and then it actually moved to that. Listen, dude, if you're a boob guy, that's fine. If you're a butt guy, that's fine. If however you want to use Wodify, I understand. Listen, if I was collecting money through Wodify, I would find the billing the most important feature too. I hear you. I don't want to fight with you, but like, you know, it clearly has different. I mean, for the user, the least important thing, for the client, the least important thing is the billing. The most important thing for them is to get access to the workouts.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I remember before, like my CrossFit Aspire days, Justin was the owner. Justin would post the workout at, man, was it like, it was in the evening when I would go to bed, because I was like an early morning guy to go to, I had to go teach. I drove an hour just to go to the school I taught at. But I would literally, like, as soon as I woke up that next morning, like get on and go find the workout. Like that was it. Like now with Wodify, I signed to the app, I could literally see what we're doing today, what's going on. Like it's that easy. And like that was the connection from the athlete side that like everybody wanted. Like they wanted the workout. Like, you know, that made it easy. But that's how we built the foundation of the software, and then all the other stuff came second.
Previous members coming back are gold, no time on ramping. Kyle, you're saying Wodify has tits and ass. No, that was a metaphor. That was just a metaphor that like there's different things that attract different people to products. Not that I'm referring to women as products. Of course, they're benevolent creatures of God that deliver babies. Hey, you do most of your work do you guys have a headquarters?
So we used to. We started in small town in New Jersey called Haddonfield, New Jersey. Then we eventually moved to Cherry Hill. We got a bigger office because we started to grow a little bit. Then we started to grow even more. We go into Philadelphia because we're right there. And then the pandemic hits, and we kind of go to what we call now workplace agnostic. But we keep 2 WeWorks. We have a WeWork in Philadelphia, and we have a WeWork in Denver.
I didn't even know WeWork was still around.
Yeah, they are. Oh man, that is a awesome place. I'm a huge WeWork fan.
Because when you travel, you like to tell me why. Why do you like that place? It's a nice setup, or?
Yeah, it's a nice setup, and like, I mean, like knowing like offices are not cheap to have, especially if you're in the city. It makes it affordable. Like it's just nice to come in and like have there's community areas. Like the one that we have in Philly has like has 2 floors, so you have spots you could work. You have conference room, you could have like quiet time. It's not just like that. There's stuff going on. You're in the city and you're not paying like those big rents. The Denver one has like basically a coffee bar, like all these awesome things and amenities in there where I'm like, this is great. Like it's something that you don't even have to worry about from a business of like paying rent or anything, but you can use it. What's really cool too, Brendan, our CEO, if he's traveling and needs to work for the day, like we have credits where he could go work at a WeWork in New York for the day if he needed to. So a lot of cool things with WeWork.
Are they all CrossFitters who work there?
No, so we have it's funny. Like I run our sales team, so just to break apart our sales team, myself, I kind of dabble in both the CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu world. We have Corey who works for our sales team. He's more Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing. That's his kind of like forte, but very familiar with it. Was a former personal trainer, helped to run $1 million personal training business out of Philly before the pandemic and before he made the switch to Wodify. Jordan from the Wodify team has been all around the CrossFit community for years. He worked for Fit Aid, he worked for O2, he's worked for a bunch of those brands. Tim, our newest sales team member, he ran an affiliate for 10 years, sold it profitable. took some time off, started looking for a new job, and it's like came right towards us because he wanted us to work in like the CrossFit space and the fitness space.
This is a good question. I was actually talking with Souza about this last night. Can I put jiu-jitsu programming in there?
Yeah. So what's really cool is, having this background in like CrossFit was great, but we also kind of identified a lot of similarities with the way like jiu-jitsu classes run and CrossFit classes run. So when we go back, like we started attracting our first jiu-jitsu customers in like 2016, but it wasn't until like 2022 where we started to create what we call the digital student experience. So the digital student experience is basically a way for jiu-jitsu academies to put their curriculum in, organize it on a daily basis, and help prepare people. Like from the jiu-jitsu space, it's really like that white belt to blue belt time frame. It could be anywhere from like 1 to 2 years, but that's like your most important pieces. But it's also like, I mean, it's drinking through a fire hose at that point. There's so much going on, so much you don't know. Like if you're a white belt and it's your first week, you're just getting your butt kicked for classes. So we started to create this digital student experience where through the app, they can now see videos and like technique type things and have a resource for them. In the class, we have the digital student experience on the walls. So just like we created a digital whiteboard in CrossFit, we now have like an extension of the coach. So like if the move of the day was, let's just say a hip toss, coach goes over it and then everybody breaks out to drill. With the digital student experience, you could have a looping video of that, like 7 seconds of the hip toss. So this way, if a coach is coaching 40 people, he can't give every single person a minute of time, or every single group, because now he's just wasted 20 minutes of class. So this way, if I'm that brand new person and I don't know what I'm doing, I can at least look to the screen and be like, oh, I got to grab his belt.
Oh, in real time, you can do that. You're saying, John.
Yeah. So
if you have someone there who filmed it in real time, it automatically could get looped to the screen.
Yeah, and like what's been great is like a lot of times like you have gyms who do a lot of this stuff already, or jiu-jitsu academies. So they're just taking the videos that they have and it's like, well, today we're going to do this guard pass. Upload my video. It's there. It's ready to go. So it's basically
okay.
Yeah, it's basically giving them, just like we want the programming in CrossFit, is giving them the curriculum of what they're going over in jiu-jitsu. And like, I think of CrossFit and the functional fitness world, like there'll be metcons, there'll be strength and metcons. Jiu-jitsu, we have takedowns, we have submissions, we have guard passes, we have sweeps. So very similar organizational time of it, where they're teaching specific moves, just like, hey, we're going to teach the snatch today. We're going to teach a guard break or a guard pass. And they could put those in, have the video references. It's a great tool.
So yeah, that is really cool. You could put you can get an 80-inch TV now for $1,000 on Amazon. Put up an 80-inch TV. I guess any gym could do that. CrossFit gym could do that and be like, hey guys, here's the snatch in person. Now here's the snatch on TV. I'm going to keep this in a loop. The 3 points of performance that I want you to most focus on are this. I'm going to go around and walk around with you. If you need to look at something, there is. Holy shit, that's cool as shit. Are there gyms doing that? I've never walked. I guess I haven't walked into an affiliate and seen that.
Yeah. So I'll tell you like my personal story, like, especially like, so I coach CrossFit, did CrossFit. I went into weightlifting after that. And I have a pretty strong foundation in weightlifting. So that I spent a lot of years competing there. Doing a barbell club always just came naturally. I love that sport. I love building strength. It's awesome. I hurt my knee and like I couldn't like teach movements for a bit, and it's really been helpful to like have videos. Like we actually have all the CrossFit.com videos in Wodify because we always had a relationship with them. So like it's either Camille or Julie Fouché like snatch video that gets like slowed down, or like the James Hobart video that gets slowed down. Like as somebody who like couldn't squat for a bit with a knee injury, it was like, you guys are they're helping me teach and like focus on points of performance. So it was like awesome to be able to use those resources while I was coaching or teaching.
Hey, can people actually link to those videos into their own personal account, the CrossFit videos?
Yeah. Oh man, this brings back memories. This is my old garage. My new one's better. But yeah, so So like if I wanted to use this video, I could do two things. I could actually upload it to Wodify. So we will host all the videos for them on Wodify. So if you don't want to create a YouTube channel, like don't do it. Just upload the video direct to Wodify and there it is. Or if you want to have a YouTube channel and create more content, like you can have it just linked out to that. But what's nice is from the app perspective, whatever way you do it, literally can just hit the play button inside the app. It keeps it inside the app. It's not taking them off. So it's just keeping everything in one spot.
Do you have a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms using Wodify? Is it a big customer of yours?
Yeah, it's and it's grown over the last couple of years because now that we've created a digital student experience, it's been you kind of see two versions of it. You see the people who are really like very technology focused and will literally seek us out for it. You have other ones who kind of like dip their toe in with doing it just through the mobile app and then maybe eventually expanding to that, like Charles Gracie they're in the, I want to say NorCal area. They started out with us just putting it in the mobile app and then eventually like to screens inside the gym and like growing what they were using. We have some gyms who, in the jiu-jitsu space that, hey, I'm not ready for this. So I'm just going to use you for a business tool, bill my members, help me schedule classes, run my emails. Awesome. Like first step. But now when they're ready to eventually expand that member experience, they have these tools ready for them.
Let me pull up a couple comments here. Andrew Hiller, I've used Wodify for 10 years now, 5 as affiliate owner. It has been great. Nothing close.
I do know I demoed Andrew when we were when he was going through sign up process.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah.
That long ago? You knew him before he had pubic hair. Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he had the goatee, but yeah, like I like. And it's funny too, like to have like a decade plus. We don't delete emails at Wodify. Yeah. So like anytime I like go to talk to somebody, I'm always like, or somebody's like going to talk to him, always like, let me search their name. And it's like, oh, turns out we talked back in 2013, 2012.
Oh, that's awesome. Haddonfield is where Michael Myers was born. Oh
yeah.
Did you know that?
I did.
Does everyone know that from there?
So I think it's Haddonfield, Illinois, but we're Haddonfield, New Jersey.
Oh shit, Andrew. Oh shit, Andrew.
Or it was filmed in Illinois. I think it's trying to be Haddonfield, New Jersey. There is something with Haddonfield, New Jersey. I would say Haddonfield's biggest, if you're from this area, like the big thing about Haddonfield is that all the a lot of the Phillies ball players all live in the town, in the town now. So you can be.
Is it a swanky town?
It's a nice town. It's tiny, but it is it's like your typical small town feel. We go to the bistro in Haddonfield almost every 2 weeks, my family and I, because we love it. But it's you can walk the avenue. It's nice. It's small. It's homey. Oh, I got it. Andrew said I was correct.
When you said something about a landing page, so you're integrated. You offer people a place to host their landing page that integrates right into Wodify. Were you saying that was one of your new features?
Yeah. So if you think about websites, right? A lot of times, I mean, I would say most of the time, gym owners are not web people. So we can build a straight website. We have a complete website team that we hired in Wodify roughly 2 years ago. So if a new gym signs up today, actually Susan's going to go through this process, but he's going to switch his website to Wodify, which means we kind of have these frameworks or templates we work through where we get their photos. We're going to build a website for him and make it really easy to link in with Wodify, where when I click book my free trial, drop into a class, whatever that next step you want to take is, Wodify is basically popping out. You as a consumer aren't going to know anything because it's going to be fully integrated, branded, everything you want.
You'll still type in CrossFit Livermore and it'll push to that page.
Yeah, it'll push to his Wodify site.
What about someone like Andrew Hiller who has his own programming? Now I'm selfishly thinking of my own programming. So I could have a 3 Plane Brothers landing page with workouts that they used when they were 4 and 5. And then 7 and 8 and 9, and I could have all those offerings on it, and then it would integrate seamlessly with Wodify, the billing, the programming, all that stuff.
Yeah. So like the Hiller example, Andrew, I think is a funny one, because like today, I don't know if he's still doing this right now, but at one point, like in his Instagram bio, it literally just had the link to go purchase your membership from Wodify. So it was as easy as that, and like join HillerFit. Yeah.
Oh, look.
Let's see if he still has it.
Yeah. Who is your primary customer? Are there is it CrossFit gyms?
Yeah, like everybody in that CrossFit functional fitness space is still like our bread and butter customer for the last, 12, 13 years at this point. But we're slow, like so there you go. Like if you click on Team HillerFit, there's his online sales link.
Oh, and it goes straight there.
Yeah, so now.
Oh, sorry. It didn't take you there. Okay, sorry. I got to share a different page. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So now, like, especially like Andrew, somebody building a online platform, right? Like somebody sees what he does on social media, they go right here, and now I can purchase that program in 2 clicks versus I got to go somewhere else, fill something out, go through these email loopholes. Now, if you're an affiliate, imagine having this go to a landing page that was like, book your free trial. Like, I just saw what I liked on social media. Now I'm at that landing page. Now we're helping you capitalize on that excitement, right? And I think that's what's important.
So when you build it, like this one doesn't have any pictures or anything. When you build it for Souza, there'll be like a picture of like some old guy and some pretty girl like jerking a weight or something.
Yeah, so he goes right to, like, Andrew's just going right to the purchase point. So if you think like
That's typical of Andrew. Andrew's no fluff.
Yeah, if you go to CrossFit
He's just
S3,
no fluff. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you go to CrossFit S3, I think it is .com.
CrossFit S3.com. Okay, here I am.
So this would be like more typical of like the web experience. So like,
so you guys built this page.
Yeah, and then if you click red button right there in the middle, right? Oh man, I love this. I want to try a free class. So now this is opening up to their online sales portal.
Oh, wait a second, and I nailed it, dude. Look at I know the marketing strategy. You got the old. Didn't I say old guy and pretty girl?
Yep.
There it is. All right. See, I'm a genius. All right, and then I click try a class, and there it is. I just sign in. Okay.
Yeah. So now you're just literally choosing your schedule, right? They have a class coming up at 11. Cool. That person who wants to come in, or 12, it looks like that class is booked out. So if you were coming to the,
and then these are the instructors, Matthew, Jenny. These are the instructors.
Yeah. So in like 2 clicks now, that person who's finally ready, like to take the next step, and I want to change my leg. I want to get in shape. I want to just join another CrossFit gym. Like, we make that as easy as possible.
I've had some friends who have had programs in one place. I think one of the famous ones was the Matt Fraser story, where he was with one program and he switched to another program. And the rumbling is that when he switched platforms, he lost half his customers, because what it does is it notifies everyone they need to put their credit cards in again. Is that just an industry wide problem? Like, if someone finds something better, it's really difficult to migrate them.
I would say no with us, because we do all the work to try to help you make that process as easy as possible, right? So it can be, it depends on the merchant world stinks. And I think from everybody's outlook, it's like, if I'm going to change, like I got to worry about collecting credit card information again. So I think from a transition standpoint, like, if you know you need to change software for whatever reason, like, don't focus on like what's going on right now. Just think of like 30 days from now, 60 days from now, am I still going to deal with that issue, right? So I got to deal with some work. 30 days from now, it's going to be much better off. The transition standpoint, though, like from our side, we try to make it as seamless as possible. So like, we do a lot of the legwork. Like, so Sevan, let's say you had a gym and you wanted to come to us, like, we'll get your members out. We'll get your inactive clients, your leads. We'll put them into the different buckets in Wodify. We'll help build the memberships and set those things up. Like, your legwork is a little bit, it's mostly learning the software. Credit card transitions, most softwares do it. They unfortunately do it at like a high price. So we've built specific reports, workflows, automations to try help you out with the transition. So if you had to get members to put their credit card back in, we have reports to let you know who has, who hasn't. We have our workflows and automated emails that will continue to gently nudge them. You can send the same type of reports and dashboards to your coaches so they know, like, hey, John's coming in today, didn't put his stuff in, make sure we're collecting payment information from him. If you go and you're able to do a secure payment transfer, it's basically like matching up the credit cards. We can help get, the majority of those guys back in. There's always like the few that can't transfer, like family accounts, dad's credit card information could transfer over. You just got to reattach it to the rest of the family. That's kind of the stuff you deal with on the transition. But if you've kind of figured out that, hey, I want to make a switch because I'm dealing with billing issues constantly, or I'm dealing with so much extra work that I do every day, like, okay, we'll make the switch in 30 days. Now you're set up, everything's transitioned over. It took a little bit of time, but I think you'll be better off in the long run.
We are stoked for this at our gym. The way the website looks, that they have done are so good and sleek.
Yeah, I like Brandon's comment too, because I think one of the cool things about our website is it's not like a cookie cutter where it's the same image, the same type of format. Like, you can customize them. As part of the website side of it, like, one of the goals we had when we did websites was to make it as easy. So when Brandon needs to add a coach, he can add a coach. He doesn't necessarily have to reach out to Wodify to spend hours on dev time to recreate it. If he needs help doing those things, though, he has us at his back. So that's part of it too, is like, now that we do websites in-house, we also support that. Brandon wants to make changes, but he doesn't know how to do it. Like, we have a support team that will literally hop on a Zoom call and show him what to do, teach him how to do it, and then help him do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, we're going to take a quick 90-second break, maybe longer. We'll be right back. John, you're welcome to use the restroom, grab a coffee, whatever. Is friends with Two Brain?
We are friends with Two Brain. In fact, I remember Chris coming out like years and years ago to our old office. We've been friends with them. I mean, not early on, but like after we started building software, we reached out to them and basically we're like, hey, we know software. We don't know the affiliate side all that much. Can you help us out? And we created dashboards in the system that, like, if you're an affiliate owner joining and you don't, or an affiliate owner just opening up and you don't know what metrics to track for your business, the Two Brain metrics have been a dashboard in Wodify for like years. So you understand some of the basics about how to run a CrossFit business. So yeah, we've known them for a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And great people, right? They put out this report, the State of the Industry report.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome that you guys are affiliated with them. I love Chris. We reached out to him and we're like, hey, we need some money for an affiliate video contest. He's just like, yes. And we're like, we haven't told you what we're going to do for you. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. No one else call him, by the way. No one else call him. He only does that for me. Don't try. No one else try to call him for sponsorship.
Have you ever gone to the Two Brain Affiliate Summit?
No, was invited out there. I always 2 years in a row I've regretted not going, but I get anxiety when I see that there's 1,000 people there. I see it and I'm like, I'm going to go to Chicago. I'm going to see people. I'm like, I'll just stay at home.
Yeah, we've been going every year for the last couple of years, and like the team that everybody leaves it like this was just an awesome weekend. Like, so, and like not meaning, I know the affiliate owners do, but like our team personally, like, we love it. Like, it's 2 months away at this point. So we'll be back this year.
John, Mr. Waka, Jon Walka, I apologize to do this to you. How did you know I had to poop? I've done 4,000 shows and I've never had, have I ever had to leave to poop before? I already pooped twice this morning. My hand started tingling. I'm like, I can't do this. I need to come back and be fully present for John. Wow, and you're pooping now? Nope, I didn't shit in the backyard. Why is it so loud? I don't know why that video. So how did you guys know? Do you guys know me that well? That's crazy. We know you, Sevan. Wow. That's incredible. Yep. Did you know that I went to go poop? I never poop in the middle of the show. I don't even usually pee until the 2-hour mark.
I was going to say
shit.
too, this will now be from now on, every podcast that you take that break, it's going to be like, hey,
The poop show.
It's going to be, yeah, he just went to poop again. We know it.
Oh, why was the poop so fast? I'm telling you guys, normally I poop on command. I don't, no, it's not because I have a loose butthole. Come on, guys. We have a guest in the house. Everyone behave. Hello, Luke. Smartest money you spent. By the way, the behind the scenes and the Mayhem behind the scenes are available now for CEO members. You want to see that. Hey, are your kids competing in jiu-jitsu?
Ooh, not yet. So my twins, it's funny. So I have Blake, I have Brody and Brant. We're the B-boys. This is why I wore my triple B shirt today.
Nice.
This is also
Tell me their names again. What are their names again?
Blake, Brody, and Brant.
Okay.
Blake's my 8-year-old. Brody is the oldest of the two twins, and Brant's my youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Blake competed once, and like it was his first time ever competing, where he didn't know what to expect, super nervous, lost a couple matches, had matches where he scored points. And like it went from like a car ride home where he's like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again, to, oh yeah, I would do that again. So I think he just got like super psyched up, scared. The twins have not had a chance to yet, but those two, like Brody reminds me of my 3 kids. He reminds me the most of me, where he's just like head down, ready to go. Like he's a savage with jiu-jitsu. Brant, my younger one, had like a fight or flight moment. So shout out to Coach Dan Tolino, great friend. He helps coach the kids class with me. And it was like roughly like 6 months ago, like Brant's a little bit more timid, and someone took him down, and he had this like, it's fight or flight at this point. And then he started fighting back. And now watching my twins go at it, because they're both like in their head fighters. I can't wait to get to like a competition at this point.
Something to throw out there that's interesting. So we have a big jiu-jitsu room at my house. We just have with just a room full of mats, and we have rings that hang in it, and that's it. That's the only like. And then so my twins have been doing jiu-jitsu since they've been 3. My oldest has been doing it since 4. So they have, and just constant, right? But it was only last year that now when they fight, they do jiu-jitsu on each other. Isn't that so? They still fought, like they would go to tournaments, they would fight jiu-jitsu, very strict rules in class. But when they fought at home, it was just like scrapping, right?
Yeah.
Now, like it's crazy. Like they'll go in there and it's side control to mount to fucking ground and pound, and they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And they'll take it in the room, even if it's like a fight. They'll be like, "Hey, let's go in the jiu-jitsu room and do this."
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, I see my little guys the little one specifically, like with my older one, like they don't do the jiu-jitsu stuff, but I do see like if somebody's like down on the ground, like they'll put hooks in and like grab a seatbelt and like hold on for dear life. Like it's like ingrained in them at this point.
I saw in the last 6 months, I saw them go toe to toe. They were arguing, and I saw one double leg the other one. I was like, holy shit, this shit is becoming second nature to these guys.
I love it. That happened with my oldest son. We haven't my nephew Sam, he's 13, 14, but he was probably like 11, 12 at the time. And my oldest son like ducked under him, grabbed a leg, and like took him down. And he like looked up with like wide eyes, and like he knows how to do that stuff, dude. Like, yeah, don't mess with him.
There was an older kid at tennis who found out Avi did jiu-jitsu, and he said, "Hey, let's go to the grass and wrestle." This is while they're waiting for class. And the kid's a whole head taller than my son Avi, and Avi just snapped him down, and the kid felt, and then was about double leg him, and the kid's like, "No, I'm good." He just felt the snap, and then he's like, "Nah, I don't want to play." I will tell you this: the first 10 tournaments. So I have 3 sons. I take them all. If they're all, usually someone's always injured. But my son Joseph, the first 10 tournaments I took him to, it's $159 to sign up for gi and no gi. The first 10 tournaments, he did not do them. So I basically spent $1,500. So I take him there. We get there, and he just starts crying. And this is, 4 tournaments a year for 2.5 years. And I would just hug him and be
Yeah.
like, baby, you don't got to do it. And everyone was like, why do you keep doing it? I'm like, at some point, and now, dude, in the last 2 years, like, he's chomping at the bit. But I never, we got there, he cried, I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal, dude. Try again
Yeah.
next time.
When you're ready to step out, step out.
Yeah. I mean, it's nerve-wracking, right? The tournaments are crazy. Parents are screaming. It's fucking
Oh,
bonkers.
yeah. If you've never been part of that world, like it's insane.
It's a room full of people
Absolutely.
taking their kids to go fight. You're like, what's wrong with these parents?
Yeah.
Does your wife get crazy
literally is what it is.
Does your wife get crazy nervous? I always think if I'm nervous, my wife must be coming unhinged. I mean, she stays stoic, but I know she must be flipping out inside.
Oh, my wife's a former gymnast.
Okay.
So like competing and like all those things, especially like at gymnastics, like it was solo. So like she was like, if they ever do tournaments, or she's like, I'm just never going, because like she could feel like the stress and anxiety of just that, and that just brings her right back to like those times competing.
Yeah. How does she handle when the boys go like the boys will just be like in a room just fighting, and I'll just walk past them, you know what I mean, brush my teeth and walk out. But my wife can't do that. She'll walk in there and be like, hey boys, stop, someone's gonna get hurt. I just ignore her. Do you have that too? Like, you're like, all right, well,
I think, well, we're like, we've always said like, once you got outnumbered,
yeah,
3 kids, right? Like you pick your battles. At that point, it basically gets to a point where we're like, okay, knock it off, and then someone comes crying, and it's like, what did you learn?
she'll say that.
We both will at this point. Like we
Okay,
try, like if it's gonna get to like fists, because like they will like punch each other and do those things now. Like we
right,
try to like, we could feel it, like the tension boiling, and we
yeah.
like hear the screaming start, and we're just like, nope. Like try to get in to intervene, and then every now and then it's like someone comes up crying. We're like, okay, what happened? Oh, Blake hit me. Why did he hit you? Okay, you shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have hit
Right.
you.
You shouldn't have licked his neck.
Yeah, like whatever happened, like let's not do it again. And then it's, doing it again in 2 more hours.
Have you any broken bones?
Oh yeah. So my kids are very much like they're active kids. And like you have the rings. Like I had rings going through my garage. Like
Oh
I
shit.
have a garage gym, so we have all that stuff. They love Ninja Warrior stuff. My oldest is broken. He got a buckle fracture. Was it last year? Maybe it was last year. He was trying to like clear monkey bars, and he jumped and then missed and like fell and broke his wrist. That's been like the biggest couple concussions we've had. But broken wrist has been like the worst so far.
I had a broken elbow, 2 broken
Oof.
elbows, and someone snapped a tibia at the skate park, and I saw him go
Ooh.
into shock, and we took him home and put him on the couch, and then finally that night, my wife took him to the ER. But what's so funny is one of the kids, not funny, but it is funny. One of the kids broke his elbow, and he told me, he's like, "Hey, it's broken." I'm like, "No, you're fine, you're fine." And then at dinner, he was a right-handed eater, and at dinner I saw him
Yeah.
eating with his left hand.
Oh wow.
I'm like, "All right, finish dinner. We're going to the ER."
When it was Blake who broke his wrist. When he broke his wrist, though, we were like, all right, let's go home. We'll ice it, call it a day. We went home, woke up the next day, took him to jiu-jitsu. And when they were warming up and he went to bear crawl, the first
Yeah.
second he put his hand down, he was like, that's it. And then I was like, my wife was there, so she went and took him right to go get x-rays. And it's like, yeah, you got a buckle fracture.
It's kind of weird with kids because I'll say to them, "Hey, are you sore or are you injured?" And I feel like they can't process that. Like I keep trying to get them to distinguish between being sore and injured, and I feel for some reason they can't distinguish between the two.
Yeah, yeah. I always do the touch test. So if it's like I
Yeah.
hurt my wrist, I'm like, okay, and then I'll just slowly grab it tighter to see like what's happening with them. And I like wait for like, is it sharp pain that's shooting that I'm like, okay, we got to go do something about this. And I feel like most of the time it's not,
Hey,
thankfully.
is there any reason why someone who has anything like, let me just make this up. Let's say you want to show someone, my wife's gotten into making sourdough bread. That's like a popular thing right now. Couldn't someone just use Wodify for that?
Ooh, so it's interesting. I think what's cool about Wodify is like, I mean, depending on how she wants to use it, yes, she can. Obviously,
Like
it has this.
to sell your cooking program. Like we use we're going to use this podcast software to stream live events. They didn't make that software for this, but
No.
we're like, hey, we think we can figure this shit out.
So there's a system. The system Wodify is built on is called OutSystems.
Okay.
OutSystems never once thought their software would be fitness software.
Oh,
And it is. So like Amit's gone to, they're based out of Portugal. Like he's gone to Portugal. He's spoke at like events for them and has done things because he reimagined how their software could be used, which was really cool. So like in theory, yes, we have a dog walking business who uses Wodify because she's scheduling dog walking type things. She's obviously not putting workouts in it. So I think like from the if you're doing anything that's class based, we absolutely could do at this point. So like we've started to see like some slow expansion into yoga and Pilates. We've started to see expansion into these other avenues that we never really thought about because it has the similarities that we need. So like if your wife was doing like an online class or an online video series on sourdough, like she could basically have people sign up at Wodify. Here's the video of day 1 feeding your starter, day 2 feeding your starter, right? Here's the program we have a media library. So like in the media library, you could talk more details, numbers. There's a lot you could do with it. I think from our side, especially from the sales side, like we try not to rule anybody out right away. We're like listening because one, it could be a new market for us.
mm-hmm.
Sevan, do you know what LudoSport is?
No, Ludo. Spell it for me.
LudoSport.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll come right up.
LudoSport. Lightsaber combat challenges.
Did you know this even existed?
No, but
Okay.
I'm not surprised. But I'm not surprised. Seems like something my listeners would do. A bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, there are LudoSport gyms that exist who use Wodify software. We are not the like premium software sponsor of LudoSport or anything like that, but like we're finding out that there's more and more class-based type entities, and from our side, it's helped us kind of expand.
Is there a LudoSport champion? I'm going to get him on the podcast.
That'd be interesting. I mean, these things look very intense. I remember when Corey, our sales guy who closed them, was like, I closed the LudoSport gym. We're like, the lightsaber thing? Yeah, like, that's awesome. Like this is unique. Jordan from our team just a few months ago signed up a horse stable who needed a booking system for their horse stable, and like there's unique things here. We customize we give the owners the ability to customize the app. Like, a lot of times CrossFit gyms call them athletes. Jiu-jitsu, they're typically students. Some people call them clients, whatever you want to call them. Like customize your names, do those type of things. We'll give you flexibility now. Where like back in the day, it's an athlete because that's how we built it. And now it's a little bit more open at that point.
You could do a knot program too. Like my kids are into knots now. I've been trying to. We go on YouTube and you could do a knot program. You could do 50 knots in 50 days, or something like that. And you could just go to Wodify and be like, hey, this is this. You could have your write up, right? And you could be like, hey, this knot is used for fishing, towing cars, like 3 things. Here it is being tied in midair. Here's it being tied on the ground. Here's it being tied with different thickness of ropes. And then someone could buy your knot program.
Yeah. And I mean, even taking that like taking it one more step further. so we have a media library where you can basically house almost any type of media. Like we've seen yoga studios take like at home yoga flows. So they can, if I can't get to my studio, I could go watch a 40-minute flow, a 60-minute flow, and I could do yoga at home. And again, the idea of these features are to keep the people connected to the businesses, not like marketplace them and be like, you can't go to yoga today, go try a different yoga studio that's in your town, and maybe this one loses a member. So they could do things like that. We've seen some CrossFit gyms kind of create like foundational videos, things like that in there. So even going on the knot example, hey, here are the foundational knots that you need to know, available in your media library in the app, quick access, right? Jiu-jitsu, foundational movement type things. Here's all the white belt curriculum that these are the moves you need to know to get your first stripe, your second stripe, to move to blue belt. So people are building these things out and just kind of additionally having resources. It's funny in the jiu-jitsu space because there's so much content that exists. Like Peach, our head coach, always says it, like, if you're going to look at something at YouTube, he's like, and you want to learn that move, that's great, but like send it to like one of your black belt coaches or send it to me. He's like, I'll tell you if it's worthwhile, because like you might be picking out a move that's we would never tell you to do. So at this point now, it gives the ability for like an academy owner to basically say, hey, here's a whole series of moves that I want you to know. Or if you want to expand stuff during open mat or open gym, here's stuff that you can look at, resource. Don't just go to some random YouTube video that looks cool.
Yeah, on that note, I unfortunately, I think that there are a lot of martial arts gyms where people are wasting their time. And this is going to sound harsh, but if you're doing martial arts for 2 or 3 years and you haven't beat someone up yet, you should probably stop. And by beat someone up, I don't mean like beat someone up on the street, but like I've been to a bunch of different ones now with my kids, and like it's pretty obvious now, the one we're at, like they beat people up. You know what I mean? Like they go to tournaments and they know what they're doing. And there's a difference. You'll see some weird shit, right? Like,
oh yeah,
we recently had a get together of the local gyms, and our white belts were beating up their yellow belts, and I was like, oh man, that's not good.
Yeah, we so
that's not a good sign.
So for Beacon, Bob Peach, like great coach in general, like, and the jiu-jitsu side, really great coach in the fighting world. He just had Luke Lessie, Luke the Chef on Instagram, who's from the Midwest, literally moved to New Jersey to just come train here. So, and this guy,
that's awesome.
And like, I mean, I could literally sit there and just listen to this guy kick pads all day. It sounds like a brick dropping off a building, like with the way he kicks pads. But he just won a big fight recently. He fights in the One Federation.
Oh wow, yeah. You just don't want to waste. You don't want to waste your time or your kids' time or your money. Like you took 4 years of Taekwondo. You're a black belt, but some dude can still beat you up on the street who has no training. Like, I don't know. I'm not buying it. Like maybe you got some physical fitness out of it or some mobility, but I don't know. This is an interesting idea. Never thought of it until now, but maybe this is better option software for my son's moving company. Yeah, Wodify could be for scheduling moving company. Or even tutorials on how to pack your shit if we don't pack it for you, or how to have your house ready, or all that. Does a moving company use yours? You know of any moving companies that use Wodify? No.
I could tell you confidently no.
But Dog Walker, that's pretty cool.
The Dog Walker was, and what was cool about the Dog Walker was she had a background as a CrossFit athlete that used our software. And it was like, it wasn't an argument, but it was like, we don't think you could use this. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, it will work. And we're like, she convinced us to let her use Wodify, and now we see it. But now we don't, we look for like showstoppers and roadblocks and things maybe we don't do yet for specific industries. Like we've had baseball academies come up to us and they're like, we want to track velocity. We're like, we can't track velocity. And they're like, okay, well, we want to track specific. We're like, okay, we can't track that. So we know we're not for you from that side. Batting cages, can you guys do cage rentals? And we're like, we don't do that. So it's like, okay, there are certain things we just don't have.
You do cage rentals.
Yeah. Well, there is, I'm sure there's a batting cage software out there, but like, there's a lot of like facility management software that exists that like, sure, I'm sure you could just say like, I got 5 cages, set up my schedules.
What? How many gyms do you think there are in the United States? Like just
It's
gyms, like
insane.
jiu-jitsu gyms, studio, yoga gyms. I mean, just places where people go do physical shit.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be like we've like looked up the numbers of just jiu-jitsu gyms, and it's like in the like tens of thousands. So like that's just one avenue, right? We know CrossFit's somewhere in the like what's CrossFit domestically? I mean, I know overall you're at
You
like
think there's got
10
to
as
be at
well.
least 5,000 in the United States, and then 5,000 knockoff gyms. You know what I mean? Like gyms, and
Yeah, well,
then
that's the
right
thing too. You're right. Like, I mean,
ones that are
right,
doing
there's
it
so many
that don't give the
functional
name.
fitness.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think there's
CrossFit. If
50.
it
You think there's 50,000 training facilities in the United States? Like if you put yoga,
Yeah, I would think so.
Pilates.
I would think so. At one time, we were like trying to find, like, hey, what, like, when we wanted to send, like, or try to start to find gyms that maybe could use Wodify, but don't really know we do their marketplace. And like, we searched functional fitness gyms, and the amount that blows up, it's like insane because everybody says they're functional fitness. Like Lifetime says they're functional fitness. LA Fitness will say they're functional fitness because they offer some version of it. But like when you do that search, it's just like, the Google Maps is just red dots everywhere.
All right. I hope you're lubed up. Someone wants to ass pound you. Here we go. If Wodify, if Jon Waka could figure out how not to send 7 emails to me at the same gym, maybe I'd listen to the sales pitch. Is that your fault or is that the gym owner's fault? He got her email in there 7 times.
Ooh, I mean, if that's coming from the gym, yeah, there's definitely something on the gym side. So like, let's talk about our Wodify workflows and maybe a way that it's not working together.
One quick thing, you should just feel happy you get any emails. Remember that. Okay, go ahead.
But like, it could be that this gym was maybe hey, I set up my workflow. Somebody reaches out to us, so I'm going to send an email at 1 o'clock, an email at 3 o'clock, an email at 5 o'clock, and they could be doing something like that. That's probably not best. I would reach out to our support team to help them out.
Okay, but
Brett's got it too. It could be overlapping workflows as well.
yeah, Seema.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seema. Nothing's the gym owner's fault. She probably just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Well, and I feel like too, like I'm glad these people
have Landon call me. Landon can't figure out. Have Landon call me. I know a guy at Wodify. I'll put him in touch with him.
Yeah.
Have Landon call me.
Jon@wodify.com. Tell him to send me an email.
Oh, you really are employee number 1. Look at you, Jon at Wodify.
I got and JON. The other thing too is like I've told these people all the time, like I've been here long enough that I should be able to answer questions, but if I can't, I know exactly who can. So like, happy to be a phone operator and put that to the right place.
Oh, were you going to say something, by the way, about that? No, okay. I thought maybe I interrupted you.
I don't think so.
So there's no the landscape. So regardless if CrossFit sells or gyms come and go, you kind of are like an affiliate. Like an affiliate will. I think it was Craig Howard one time said like, his gym had 600 members, and that sounds really exciting, but you have to remember that means I have to onboard 10 to 15 people every single month because people come and go. You have 600 members, and 10 of them are moving out of town every month.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's kind of like that for you guys. Like it's a really highly energized, busy place because there's new gyms opening every single day around the world, and then there's people closing gyms or moving.
Yeah. I mean, it's nature of it. Like you have that kind of aspect and like ebb and flow each month for sure. I think the other unique thing from our side is like we're slowly not falling, but moving into some of these new verticals, which has us like, we're not big. We weren't big in the jiu-jitsu space when we started going out to that way. So like every jiu-jitsu school was a new opportunity, something we never spoke to. There were some of them who were, oh, my old CrossFit gym used to use you guys. I didn't know I could use Wodify for my jiu-jitsu school. And it's like, yeah, you can. And it's probably because back, before we started, we didn't tell people it could be used for different industries. But now people are figuring it out. We have more customization. We are actively telling people too.
Hey, your competitors out there, is everyone just watching everyone else? And then anytime someone comes up with a new, like you're like, oh, they toggle this better, or you're like, you come up with something and next week they have it, or just the engineering teams, because I'm assuming you can't patent or copyright any of that stuff. So the engineering teams are just, it's like there's a competition constantly.
So it's interesting. Like sometimes I think there's our features that get built that are important that someone does it first. And it's like, yeah, we need to add this feature.
Right.
But there's other times where we call them like micro features, like little enhancements that we can do that maybe the other competitors can't because they have VC funding, they have a board of directors to report to. And it's like, hey, we want to go take dev time. And they're like, well, those 8 hours, this is a bigger win. Like we should do that, where we could say, okay, this pod has time to do, let's go build this micro feature that's going to, now give us the ability to, so like actually really good example. We just created workflows completely about Wodify Perform, which is where you track your results. So if somebody hits a PR, you now have workflows that could send them an email, shoot them an in-app chat. Hey, great job, great PR, those type of things, and just kind of continuously or help pat them on the back after they do those things. That's a very focused feature for like the fitness space. One of the bigger Goliath type softwares that exist out there, right? If somebody was like, we should do a PR feature, and they're like, well, their software might work for hair salons where it doesn't have a place in it. And it might work for yoga studios where it doesn't have a place in. So they're not going to build features like that quickly or until it becomes like a real issue that they're completely losing a giant customer base because of it. We're doing it because we can, and we're quick and nimble.
Hey, so Amit just owns the company. There's no VC funding.
No VC funding, never had.
Hey, dude, when I worked at CrossFit, we had this guy, Leif Edmondson. He was like, when I ran the media department, he was the portal for all things forward facing, right? And so literally, like, we could have something that was scheduled, and then an article like let's say the president of the United States said the single most important thing in this country is to get old people fit. Like literally in 2 seconds, he could just change it. Didn't have to check in with anyone. He'd put a video of an old person working out. Like we were so fucking nimble. Someone would be like, hey, Rich Froning's going to try to break the Grace World Record. Someone would be like, someone would just get on a plane, right? And just go out there and film that shit. Like, it's just like, hey, everyone was on the same team. It had one owner. The trust was like through the fucking roof with everyone. I mean, that's a huge, what you pointed out is like a huge thing. Instead of like climbing up the ladder, can we change the schedule? We forgot it was St. Patrick's Day. Can we make the post green? And by the time it gets back to the guy who pushes the button, it's fucking April. And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Like, I come from like, before I was even a teacher, like I had like a toe dipped into like corporate America. Like Spirit Halloween, the stores that pop up.
Oh yeah.
So they're owned by Spencer Gifts, who's coincidentally that headquarters was in South Jersey.
Okay.
But like I worked for them, and like anytime you wanted to do something, it was like, well, they have to talk to this person who has to talk to this person, and you're trying to make like a change. I worked in the IT department, but it'd be like 2 to 3 weeks to like make a tiny implementation change. And I remember the first time doing something at Wodify where actually it's funny, we wanted to shoot a video, and it was like, okay, let's get it done. And I'm like, well, who's gonna film it? It's like, you're gonna film it, you're gonna edit it, you're gonna do it. And I'm like, okay. And then like I did it, and then Amit was like, okay, good, let's get it online. And I was like, wait, like it was like wild to like make changes and make moves like that. So I would say like one of Wodify's first biggest breaks we caught was when Amit built his home gym. He got all his gear from Rogue, reached out to Rogue and was like, your customer service was great. Really enjoyed the experience. We have a software for CrossFit gyms. Would you guys be interested in learning about it? And they were like, at the time, they were like, Rogue or CrossFit Gehenna isn't going to be anymore. That was their old gym. But here's Graham Holmberg. He's opening up CrossFit Grandview down the block from that. So we're talking to Graham, and Graham wanted to do it. We're like, at the time, the 20 was it 2012 games? Yeah, I
For
guess
those of you who don't
2012
know, Graham
games
Holmberg won the CrossFit Games. For
in
those of you who don't
2011.
remember that,
Yeah.
he's a
So
great guy. What a great guy.
I spent so much time over there. Him, Savannah, like amazing people.
Yeah, amazing wife too. Yep.
But like we were talking to Graham on like a Monday, and then we were on a plane on a Wednesday to go out to CrossFit Grandview and like set up Wodify. And like he was like, well, what do you guys like? This is awesome. You're doing this. Like, what do you want? And we're like, well, look, at the end of the day, if you like it, tell some people about it. He told Rich about it right before Mayhem opened.
Wow.
Similar idea. We tried to fly to Mayhem, but there was a hurricane, so our flight got delayed. And then I was in my car, like driving down to Cookville, like a day and a half later. But like those are like our first two big breaks. Like Graham started to kind of give us like a solid foundation and some validation. And then Rich really helped. He was on a podcast where he's just like, we've never once with like any of the bigger names that have used us in the beginning, we never once was like, we'll pay you to do something or do this. We're like, look, if you like it, just tell someone about it. We went down to Rich, we installed it. And then like 2 months later, he was on a podcast and just casually bought it up. Like, yeah, we use Wodify, like check it out. Like it's doing everything we need for Mayhem at the time. Mayhem today still. But those were like the first two breaks that like really helped us out.
It is kind of interesting, right? Because you're, on one hand, your products for entrepreneurs who are just out there swimming in the sea, but then also for people to hear about your services, they have to swim also in these unique ponds that are like Two Brain, right? Where it's just like at their Chicago summit, it's probably 90% affiliate gym owners, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess you have to, getting those people's ear is finding those places where those guys, congregate.
Yeah. And I think too, like you kind of get like those, like they're awesome, like checkbox or checks to have, like that these people like understand your value, and you have like the Riches and the Grahams who will understand your value. But then you have like the Two Brain Best Hour. There's the $1 Million Dojo in martial arts who we started working with. There's Legacy Martial Arts. There are two other groups. Legacy Martial Arts is very much like a Two Brain that started in the martial arts space. Actually, we've worked with Two Brain before and kind of spun off, but we work with them. We have a lot of, they send us people all the time because it's like, we know Wodify could get everything that our academies need. $1 Million Dojo, we just started working with. But they're another one, same thing. Like they're helping gyms grow and start with the lead process where Wodify fills up all the other things from, white belt and beyond.
Seema, I really am sending him your email. Yeah, do it. Jon, Jon, spell it right, at Wodify.
Yep.
Jon won't even run to the bathroom and take a deuce before he responds to the email.
And I am very quick to email usually. And I say usually because I've made sure I've minimized it during this.
Jon, what are your best lifetime PRs in Olympic lifting? Okay,
so my best snatch was in competition. I went 107, 130 at nationals when I finished second.
What is 130 in pounds?
Sorry. Yeah. So 107 everything kilos. So 107. I lifted as a 62 kilo lifter, so 135, 136 pounds.
Holy shit, that's little.
Yeah, I'm not a very big person.
How tall are you?
5'6".
So you're an inch taller than me, and you weigh 30 pounds less than me? God, I'm fat. Holy shit.
107.
You walk around just at a fighting weight. Do you eat?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I'm probably like walking around. Like that was the fun part of Olympic lifting. Like I'm not at a weight where I'm like, I didn't have to cut that much. It was just being observant of my diet when I had to compete. So I'd probably walk around like 140, 142.
Okay. So at
So
136, you snatch 130
yeah, actually my best at that weight though, like
kilos?
training wise was 112, 245.
245. Wow.
Yeah.
And your best clean and jerk?
Clean and jerk competition was 130, so 286. Um,
Holy shit, they're so close to each other.
yeah, my clean and jerk's not that great. It should be more. Should have been more. My best training clean and jerk was 135, so like shade under 300, like 295.
Damn. Are you still fooling around with that? You still doing the lifts?
No, but it's funny, like when I didn't like when I got into it, like I didn't realize like what the sport was like, and I didn't get the whole weight class thing. So Jim Rutter, Philadelphia Barbell Club, this guy's world class. He's literally like helped coach the world elite. He was local and he told me like, hey, if you ever get done with CrossFit and you want to weight lift, you should come to me. And then that's when it started to, it's right when CrossFit like shifted from, if you want to compete, you really have to dedicate, like you have to kind of be a CrossFitter all the time. And like, I couldn't do that. Weightlifting was a little bit different. So I was like, okay, let me do that. I could have multiple sessions a day. Like that was, it was just strength sport. So Jim basically like took me under his wing, like trained me and was like, we'll get you to an A session at nationals. And I had no clue what that meant. I had to like text my friend Krista. I was like, what does an A session mean? And she's like, that's like the top tier. So my first year doing it, like I made an A session. I think I finished sixth.
No.
The next year I did it again, finished fourth. And then my best finish was I finished second, and I qualified too for a US team that went to Barbados, but I got hurt right before it, so I didn't get to compete internationally.
You got hurt lifting?
Yeah, I've always had like not always had, but I had a few like knee problems and knee injuries that kind of come back and forth. But yeah, I got hurt right before like what would have been a pretty cool meet to get to go to.
Hey, I never feel anything in my knees. Does that mean I'm not training hard enough? How do you hurt your knees
No,
and
I think
I do a lot of air squats and stuff too, like I do pretty regularly. I'll do this workout that's like just 300 air squats for time if I'm busy, or I guess I don't lunge a lot. But my knees have never, they make funny noises, but I never feel any sensation in them. How do you hurt your
yeah,
knees?
part of me thinks mine is body type of like how like
Mm,
my body is, and with weightlifting everything's torquing out. So like
mhm.
I'm basically almost like overextended out, which probably causes some of my things. Because then I also have some. I've worked with I've worked with a PT guy recently, Resolve PT, my friend Dan. But like I also have like things going inward. So when you kind of have that torsion of, you think
Okay.
of like so
Yep.
basically I'm pushing everything out and other things are going in, and I'm just kind of creating more and more tension that's going the wrong way. So I think that's what started all my kind of knee problems. And then top on that, like, you know, uh, I used to front squat 10 sessions a week. So
Uh, Yeah,
it's a lot of
they're basically
volume.
saying it's because I'm a pussy. They're saying it's because you don't load. They're saying it's because he actually lifts weights. They're saying that the assault bike rehabs your knee. I spend a lot of time on the assault bike, like
Yeah.
so much. Like that's
I would
my.
say too to
Oh,
this guy,
shut it, Andrew. Just you shut it.
yeah, to Rambler, bad knees mean bad ankles or hips. Incorrect. I have actually extremely good dorsiflexion and ankle mobility and very good hips, which is why I was very good at weightlifting. I could get to like that bottom position so quick. Well, that
Mm,
and the athletic part. So I had those things going for me, but yeah, the knees, and I feel like I do PT and everything comes back. So get back to your original question. I haven't dabbled in it recently, but I do want to get to a spot where just like I got to get in like to a mindset to compete again, but not like I'm going to go try to win at nationals. Like I just want to compete and have fun. And
yeah.
that's hard to break from being a competitor for so many years.
Hey, did your CrossFitting get better or worse as you started focusing on the heavier weights? I mean, you would think just conventional wisdom, it would have gotten a little worse, but did it?
Yeah, it's funny. Like even now, like it's weird. Like when I teach weightlifting too, like there's certain CrossFit moves that, like as an example, like Randy, right? If I had to do 75 power snatch of 75 pounds, um, like I approach it differently now because I think of like how I was as a weightlifter. So I'm like probably going a little too hard on like the power snatch because I'm trying to generate almost like a maximum power in my head because that's what I'm used to. So it
Right.
definitely has taken me back a few steps where it's almost like, I love watching people do like a ton of reps of like a push jerk that could just consistently move and like drop underneath it and just kind of do that where I feel like I don't do those things as good anymore because I'm just used to trying to generate power and output because I'm just used to that. So it's definitely had some effect. But I mean, I've had lungs. I do jujitsu. I have lungs from that. So like that part's always stayed the same. I could hang there. The open this year, the worst, and I am coming off of like my knee hurting again. But yeah, like I did not like the thruster workout. I did worse this year than I did whatever in 22. Um,
I've
but
learned to
like that,
hate thrusters. As a young man, I love thrusters. Now that I'm an old man, I fucking hate thrusters.
yeah, like that, uh, 3 years ago, I finished that workout. But the 115 and 135 thruster, like they, they just ate me up this year.
Are you do your kids dabble in CrossFit? Do you get your kids to do it?
No, but like they'll dabble like when I'm working out outside, or in my garage, like they'll be like, hey, we want to do a workout. And like I basically have like at least 2 days a week where I'm just doing like straight up strength stuff. And then depending on what the workout is and what I'm following, um, if I can make a kid version, they'll do it with me, or we at least try to do like some athletic stuff. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Okay, so they and so they know. Yeah, that's what's weird. I never had to teach my kids the clean and jerk or the snatch or the thruster. They just
yeah,
know it from being in the garage. I have that 5 pound bar and that 10 pound bar that Rogue
yeah,
sells. I have the kiddie bar and then I have the trainer bar. And they'll just go out there and they can do all the movements with no just from watching. I mean, hopefully
yeah,
I didn't fuck it up and my sequencing's right. Um, but it's pretty amazing if they're around it, how quickly they learn that stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, they understand that. Like we call it like the Waka squat because like I have a very good squat mobility and like they do too. And like even just like standard things like when they squat, I'm like, you got to do that right, and they know to go all the way down and like
Mm.
keep my feet solid on the ground. Don't go into like my toes. Like so, we've always been teaching them those things.
All 3 of your kids have good mobility?
Yeah, yeah, and like thankfully they don't have like they don't have phones, so they're not in like that hunch yet or anything like that developing. But
Right.
that's like I make sure to try to keep anything away that like if they're sitting down and like hunched over, I'm like chest up, so they fix it. Like I don't want broken kids.
Hey, you know what's interesting? So my kids do obviously a lot of jujitsu, so there's a lot of this, right? And they do a
Yeah.
lot of they do a lot of fooling around in with CrossFit. They do a lot of pull ups. They do a lot of bar muscle ups, all pullovers, all that stuff. And then they also play tennis, so they're like this a
Oh,
lot.
grip strength, ton. Yeah, that's awesome.
So recently, um, I got one of those I don't know what they're called. Have you ever seen those things gymnasts use when you're learning back bends, and it's like a big round ball,
Yeah,
and you lean on it, and it assists you
like
with a
the
back
cheese mat,
bend.
the cheese
What?
mat. I think they might call it. It's the cheese
Uh,
mat.
Let me see. I know Tumble Track sells them.
The cheese mat's the wedge.
It's this thing. It's I have a couple of them. Tumble Track was generous enough to sponsor the boys for a while. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I can't. I'll pull up a small picture of it. I don't know why I can't get to the actual product. But do you see this? Do you see these round things here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I basically have them stand and roll back with straight arms, put their hands flat on the ground, and kick over.
Yep.
And and I do that for a warm up for them. And what I've
Oh, nice.
noticed, is one of my boys, two of the boys are just crazy flexible. They can do all the splits. They can do all that stuff. One of the boys is really tight. The strongest one is really tight. But I've already noticed from him doing that, his wrist mobility and his chest is opened up. His shoulder positioning is just within just you fooling around with that thing for a week. I have him do like 20 each a day, and I can't recommend it enough. I'm gonna try to get my introduce it to the jiu-jitsu coaches at the gym and show them like, hey, this could be a good, warm up for the kids, because it opens up their shoulders, their chest. But then when you go on the ground, it forces your hand back.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about that. These guys have been doing this, for 5
Yeah.
years, just grabbing shit. And I throw a gi over the pull-up bar, and we do hanging
Oh, yeah.
competitions, holding onto the gi, all that stuff. I
I've done
recently
that
got
with
it.
them too.
Say that again?
I put a sandbag in a gi, and I've just made them like try to pick it up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's good.
Yeah.
I recently bought a rolling thunder. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's basically a handle, and the handle rolls. They have it like at the Arnold. They always have it out, and if you can pick it up, like you win a T-shirt or something.
Okay.
So I got them a rolling thunder, and I just put a few pounds on it, and I have them.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have them use that.
Nice.
But that is something to think about, right? Because you don't want your kids to just be stuck in this position all the time and
No.
not be able to
Yeah.
do this. You ever seen that guy, John? I've had him on the show a couple of times, and he did an experiment where he just walked like for 30 minutes every day. He just walked on all fours. He's a
No,
jiu-jitsu
I did not.
practitioner.
Oh, makes sense.
He took a picture of his body every day for a year, and he walked on his all fours for 4 years, and his hands and his forearms got crazy, and
Yeah,
his
I mean, bear
shoulders, everything
crawl.
got nuts.
It's so funny, like the bear crawl. Like I even remember talking with like physical therapists and PT people like early on, like when I had my first kid, and they're like, "Don't worry about them walking. You want them to crawl as long as they can." It's like it's great for athletic development. It's great for everything. And like we bear crawl all the time in jiu-jitsu, and like watching kids who can't even like bend over to do it anymore. I'm like, oh God, you're 10. Like this should not be happening.
I don't know why. I've always thought it was one of the things in my Three Plane Brothers programming. I always called crawling the holy grail. I never encouraged my kids to walk, because I always thought there's going to be a point where they stand up and they're never going to crawl again.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh,
what's the rush? You're going to
yeah.
get there, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I had a haircutter talk to me. He's like, every time my son asks me to pick him up, he's like, I always pick him up because it might be the last time. And in my head, I'm like, no, like I will always be able to pick my son up. I don't care. Like that's why I do all this other stuff, is that when my son says, can you pick me up? Like, I don't care if he's 28, like I want to be able to pick him up.
I just had that the other night. One of the boys goes, "Hey, will you bathe me?" And I'm like, and I was doing something, and I was about to say no, and I had that exact thought. Hey, dipshit. There's
Yeah.
there's gonna be a year when I'm gonna be like, "Hey, can I bathe you?" He's gonna be like, "Get the fuck away! What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
It's coming. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm so happy to have you on. What a trip that we're both have 3 little boys, all the same age. You got the same thing, the older boy and the
No,
twins.
amazing.
Yeah. Sousa had told me you had 3 boys, and Sousa told me that you had dabbled in jiu-jitsu. I wasn't aware that you were in the twins. Let me ask you this one other question. Were your kids planned?
Yeah. So, well, we joked the twins weren't planned because
Yeah.
we were having 2 kids, and then we have identical twins. So, for the people out there who don't know, identical twins are not genetics. It's just it's science. Or whatever, however you want to say it, luck of the draw. So we've always said like Blake was planned, Brody was planned, Brant was the bonus one. So he was our last twin.
And were you there when in the room when they're like, they put that jelly on your wife's stomach and they look in your stomach and they're like, "Hey,
No,
dude."
I wasn't. So it's
Oh,
funny. I was because it was a second baby. She's like, "Oh, you don't have to come." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." I went to work, and my wife called me, and I'm like, "Hold on, something's up. You don't call me." Pick
Yeah.
up the phone. Like, while you're sitting down, she's like, I'm like, yeah. She's like, we're having twins. And we're like, what? Like, that was just, I mean, to this day, like, I'm assuming you're the same way. Like, you're just like, I still can't believe we have twins.
I cannot my wife dropped 2 eggs, so ours are, not identical. What's the other one's called?
Fraternal.
Fraternal. And I was in the room and the lady goes, "Hey, did you guys do," and I was playing with Avi, keeping him busy, and the lady
Yeah.
goes, "Did you guys do IVF?" And I didn't know what that was. And so I'm waiting for my wife to answer, and I'm looking down, and then she asks it again, and my wife doesn't answer. And so I look up at the lady and she goes, "Well, there's 2 sacks in there." And I look up at the monitor and I see
Oh,
2
wow.
babies. And then I looked at my wife and my wife looked like she'd seen a ghost. She goes,
Yeah. Yeah. I
"Hey,"
can see
she
that.
just looks right at me. She goes, "Hey, we can't even take care of one."
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I was like I was I was like, I don't think I must have been high as a kite for like a month. I couldn't fucking believe I was gonna have 3 kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's wild, and I mean, I think it's made me a better person more than ever because like people are just like, "How are you like so calm?" And I'm like, "Look, when not that it's like it's my like card that I'm gonna play, but it's like when you have 3 kids and like you're just outnumbered from day one, you just gotta
Yeah.
kind of go with the flow a lot more than you want to. So it's just like you just gotta let certain things happen.
I like it when my wife once a week, my wife will just I'll just hear her walk through the house and go in the room and shut like, the boys will be going bonkers, right? And I'll hear her just go in the room and shut the door.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, shit." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "You won." And then once they know that, they run in there.
yep, yep.
They're like, all she needs is, like, 5 minutes, and then they run in there and they're like, "Uh-uh."
Oh, it's amazing.
It is, I describe it to people like, you get a puppy or a kitten and it's cool, but if you get 2, you'll see some shit that you can't even believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
you'll see the
yeah,
dogs and
yeah,
cats do, and so, like, you see shit, like, like when they fall asleep sometimes and they're, like, twisted up in a ball, and you're like, "Well, of course they are. They were in the stomach together for 9 months."
yeah.
And they're just like, you don't know where one kid starts and the other one stops. They're just like, yeah. Well, congratulations. I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for the, great deal. I know that if people use the QR code, they save $400 on Wodify.
Oh yes, one other thing too. So one of the things we just started offering is a gym growth guarantee with Wodify. So
Oh,
basically, anybody who scans QR code, if you sign up, we're going to grow your revenue by 10% your first 90 days, or your next 3 months of Wodify are on us. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is.
hey, how
We're going
does
to
that
help.
work? How can you guarantee that? How, me like, I
Yeah.
understand.
So
Go ahead.
we're going to ask a couple things like if you're a brand new business, we have other deals we'll talk to you about because at the end of the day, your brand new business is going to be easy. Like you gain 5 members, we won. Like we're not trying to do that. We're trying to say, look, if you're going to make a switch in software, like we're going to just ask for a few things. Like show us what you were doing revenue wise with your old software. We'll measure it in 90 days after you're live with Wodify. Do a few of the things that we know are best practices. Set up some workflows, right? Use the tools that we have to your advantage. If we can't help you get that 10% growth, the next 3 months after that, they're going to be on us. We're going to put our money where our mouth is and just make this offer to anybody who wants to switch. So yeah, we
Wow.
know we can do it. We're confident in the software. We have the tools out there. So use them to your advantage and help set your business up.
That's awesome. All right. Please use the, QR code so Wodify thinks that we're actually a benefit to their business.
That one.
And, and, by the way, the sponsor money we get, we pump it all back into the show. We're using it to, stream semifinals this year at the Syndicate NorCal Regional, send Taylor and Bryson around to, film these, behind the scenes. Well, brother, Jon Walka, great to meet you. I look forward to running into you. Maybe we'll see each other this year at the Two Brain Business, gathering.
I know. I know. I'm excited to. We now have to meet in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Get our kids together.
I know. Just let them go. We'll go put them in the room.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, Sevan.
All right, brother. Ciao. Jon Walka. What a great dude. A 2 out of 10. Oh, thank you. Let me guess. You don't have any kids. You're completely selfish, and you're not interested in anything but besides yourself. I completely get it. That sounds about right for someone in that category. Does Wodify itself promote your course? Oh, great question. Dang, too slow. Jose Ramirez, 10 out of 10. Oh, thank you. That takes the average up to 12 divided. That takes the average up to a 6. All right. Say $400. How much is it? I don't know. But I tell you what, it motivate. I'm just motivated to make another set of kids training, a kids training course, and put it on there. As soon as Susan showed me that, I was like, oh, I need to do that. I need to just bring my camera out and leave it out for 50 days. Okay, let me see what's going on over. Really quick. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. This is from one of my. Oh, I probably shouldn't share my emails, huh? Yeah, maybe I'll pull it. In El Salvador today, authorities denied Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat of Maryland, a meeting or a phone call with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man the Trump regime sent by administrative error to the terrorist prison in Secot. Abrego Garcia is Van Hollen's constituent, and the senator promised his family to try to get him released. The Salvadorian officials cannot or will not produce him, raises concerns about his well-being. Senator Van Hollen had hoped to meet with El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, but met instead with Vice President Felix Yulo. Van Hollen reported that when he asked Yulo why El Salvador was continuing to imprison Abrego when it had no evidence that he was a gang member, Yulo answered that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador to hold him. Evidently, President Donald Trump thinks that what he is doing to Abrego Garcia and the optics of Secot, that's the jail, play well to his base. So this is what the Democrats are hearing. At least a dozen Republicans have followed the president's lead. Congressional report Craig Kalpin reported that yesterday, House Ways and Means. The delegation also met with Ambassador 2 days and 2 days ago. Bukele posted a picture of himself with Trump with their arms around each other. I wonder what's so upsetting about this for people. Andrew. So full history of workout records transfer? Great question. Did they mention he beat up his wife? No, of course not. Oh, that's a great picture of you, Olivia. Oh, Olivia, there was a question I wanted to ask you. I was gonna write it down, and I'm like, I won't forget. That was stupid. God, there was a question I wanted to ask you. Something you'd posted, you had written in the comments a few days ago that kind of resurfaced in my head. Oh, gotta leave in 15 minutes. I watched episode 6 of the Sign series on the Big W's programming, the Big W's programming show or competition show series. Have you guys watched any of those? The first one I watched was episode 6. Someone told me I should watch it. Wow. It's rough. It's really rough. It was a little, tell you the truth, it was a little embarrassing. This is coming from a guy that puts a pencil between Katrin's tits. Yeah, it was I was getting secondhand embarrassment for the athletes watching it. Are you going to do a show about Tia retiring? I don't know. I am proud to say that all I watch is the Sevan Network and anything Hiller creates. I do know that if you leave one box and go to another and both were in Wodify, everything transfers. It's all based on your account login. I'm not on the box, is my understanding, and not on the box. Oh, wow. That drama over on the barbell spin continues. Oh, should I weigh in on this? This is some pretty funny shit. God, this is some pretty funny shit. God, this is so funny. Where is that? If I can find it. I can't find it. Damn. Someone sent me a screenshot. I don't know if you guys are following that kerfuffle. Is it kerfuffle? Kerfuffle? You guys on a spin between CrossFit Health and Metfix Health. It's pretty.
Oh yes, Xavi.
It's pretty funny. This is a LudoSport. This is what he was talking
You see Alessandro reaching for that. Oh.
Oh yes, Xavi.
He got hit.
Typical
There
Xavi.
it is. That was a lovely.
And he takes
And
it.
he takes it. He took advantage of it. Yes.
That was a great match.
Oh,
really impressive.
That was so equally. You see,
were a bit break. This is not dead. The dead is the teeth are not dead, but he was to just
in his mouth. Is that it? You'll see Paula turn around to make sure that the crowd is quiet. And the reason she does this is because she has to hear the clacks of the blades on where it hits either the blade or the pommel. This is a fast fight as well.
Fabio know where the ends of Bart.
Fight, dudes, fight. Come on, fight.
Use that.
I wonder if this is a good place to meet chicks.
At the end of Bart to stop.
Oh, what you just saw in there was really big care in the ring.
The disarm of people.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
Okay, here comes the card. Okay.
This is a card for Fabio.
All right. That's dudes who fight with Star Wars toys. Brett Bauer, Mason, I don't know the answer for Wodify, but we converted from SugarWod to push press. The members had to export CSV files from SW and import to new software. I'm sure it's similar. Heidi's getting her purple belt in this. Damn. They're really beating on Karn, and now Emily has jumped into the comments. Will be interesting to hear Greg's thoughts next Wednesday. I don't see where Emily jumped in. But someone sent me a screenshot of it. What Emily's saying doesn't make any sense to me. For those of you who don't know, basically what happened is Greg started this department called CrossFit Health, and Karen Thompson ran it when I was at CrossFit, and she ran it like a fucking boss. And she's very, very well connected, and she's very, very, very smart, and she's very highly motivated human being with fucking outstanding people skills, and super well organized. And she has a crazy lineage, and just I think her great grandfather or her grandfather was like the first guy ever to perform a heart transplant in the world. And Karen has not left that. She's a smarty pants. She's a smart human being. And she was able to organize all of these CrossFit events, these CrossFit medical doctor level 1s. And it was a huge passion of Greg's. That was like Greg really, when he started that department, him and Karen were crazy close to each other. So that's the origin of that. And they would be done regularly, and they would be very well attended at HQ. And they were pretty awesome events. And Karen would bring in these amazing speakers from all over the world, like the people like Jay Bhattacharya, and people who had been saying things for 50 years that today medical science still like doesn't appreciate, understand, or adopt. Way ahead of their times. And one of the people that Karen is really good friends with is Tim Noakes, who is the premier sports scientist in the world, who I think he ended up becoming pre-diabetic, and then found his way to CrossFit and low carb diets, and all sorts of fascinating speakers and world-class authors. And then when Greg sold the company, Eric Rosa, was funny because the whole premise when Karen ran the CrossFit Medical Society, or whatever it was called then, CrossFit Health, was to show the ills of modern medicine. That was like her and Greg's goals. It was to show, and it was to introduce doctors and give doctors who already knew that CrossFit was the cure for the world's most vexing problem. So you would be a doctor at a hospital, and there'd be 500 doctors who'd be doing prescription meds, and you'd be the one doctor that's like, no, you need to change your diet and exercise. And so those were the people that Karen was curating, and she was giving them a place to congregate and hang out with like-minded doctors, so that they didn't feel like weirdos or isolated on islands in their own medical spaces, right? So that was kind of the premise of it. And then bring in world-class speakers who also validated what CrossFit, Karen and Greg, and we all already knew. One of the people that they brought in was who was a close friend of Karen and Greg's, was a guy, Axel Pfluger. He ran the world's most prestigious, highest awarded type 2 diabetes clinic in the world. I want to say it was at Johns Hopkins, and he won awards every year for best cures for type 2 diabetes. And when he found Greg in CrossFit, he's like, hey, we can't even compare to what you do. Like, we're not even close to the cure that you have. So it was a great organization. Then when Greg sold the company, Eric Rosa took over, and he booted Karen Thompson from that lead position and put Julie Fouché in that position, which is just like full retard mode, because he's stupid, and he thought for some reason, because Julie was a doctor, not a practicing doctor, but she went to medical school, that Julie would be smarter. Well, what Julie tried to do is she tried to monetize that shit right away, if I remember correctly. She basically wanted to find a way to bring doctors into the gym to provide services for the athletes, as opposed to what CrossFit Health really was to bring doctors in and give them a place to understand that CrossFit gyms and affiliates already provided the services. So it was a complete fucking flip, right? Julie's thing was to monetize the affiliates and the affiliate members, and Greg's was to empower doctors to use CrossFit to cure people. So it's a complete flip of the model. It was full retard mode. Then at some point, Greg got really into the philosophy of science and was concerned with people's logic and the way they were thinking, and was allowing and he was like, hey man, people are being duped because they're not thinking right. And so that's when Greg started Broken Science. And Broken Science was like Broken Science was like sort of the philosophy of science and showing how science was broken through these 10 elements where from the replication crisis to flawed logic, all that stuff that Greg was trying to put into one cohesive presentation so that the world could see it and they could empower yourself to be able to see when people are fucking duping you, what Greg called serving you rot bullshit. And somehow this thing Metfix got attached to it, and I think that was more Emily's passion. And so there's this and then so there's this tension now between CrossFit and Metfix, and it's only a matter of time before it really spills over. It hasn't spilt over yet, but it's going to, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. But for some reason, there was an article written on Spin, and Karn called the article pathetic, and so people are like, hey, why don't you just say what you mean by pathetic? Why are you doing name calling? And now Emily's chimed in and saying, this is ridiculous. A sugar-free revolution, and Greg worked tirelessly to bring together brilliant researchers on metabolic health to educate 20,000 doctors out of our box, out in sea of boxes. No one's arguing that. What's ridiculous is that she has to say that. Like Emily, everyone knows that. No one's questioning that. And it was by no small effort. No one's saying that either. They galvanized support for CrossFit and the methodology in the medical community in ways no one thought possible. Actually, Greg did that. Actually, Greg and the media team did that. And the doctors came because they needed a place to meet with other like-minded people, so they didn't think they were crazy. But whatever. Of course, it's offensive and frustrating to minimize it to just storytelling. No one's minimizing it to just storytelling. And you yourself, Emily, just posted something on your BSI Instagram the other day where you're telling a story about rats. Everything that you teach is storytelling. So no one's saying that. Like, if you want to come out as a libtard and a liberal and a victim, go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead. And that work is still happening in the BSI Medical Society, and the fruit of what was learned in CF Health is integral in our Metfix seminar. Well, there you go. Whatever. Go ahead and try to sell your shit on here. But no one's minimizing it. And storytelling, I've been to a shitload of BSI events. It's 99% storytelling. As Greg has said, he's picking up where he left off. Karn deserves a ton of credit. Of course, Karn deserves a ton of credit. She's the fucking OG of fucking running the CrossFit Health. Why isn't that story of interest? That story is of interest. People tell it all the time. I've told it 20 times on this podcast. Why are you picking on her for wanting that hard work acknowledged? I have fucking no idea what she's saying. This is just being trapped in your head thinking we know what you're arguing. We don't even know what you're arguing. The whole thing is she called that fucking dude's wife who fucking wrote the article pathetic. When she should have said is just like, hey, this part was wrong. You missed that part. That's it. That's it. Sevan, call Karn. She wants to talk about it. I'm not interested in talking about it. I love Karn, though. But if I called Karn, I wouldn't talk to her about any of this shit. Ask her how her kids are doing, how her horse is. Hope things are well. Is it hot in Palm Springs yet? No, I didn't read the article. Yeah, a lot of egos. Did you read the article? I didn't read the article. I only go to Spin's Instagram. I don't read time to read that shit. Too busy reading the classics. I'd love to see if Greg slaps Sevan around for this. Me too. Sevan, did you hear women went to space for the first time a couple days ago? Actually, I don't think they actually went to space. And when I was a kid, women went to space. And a matter of fact, there was a woman trapped on the fucking space station for a bunch of days. What I'd really like to see is what the I'd like to see what that trip, if that trip changed any of the molecular makeup of all the plastic surgery those women had. All of that women's empowering thing is a huge setback for women. When the way the human brain works is when you say we're going to empower women, what everyone hears, whether they know it or not in their subconscious, is that women don't have power. That's all people hear. You have to know that in your subconscious. That's all people hear. No one thinks that any women are being empowered. No one gets empowered. All people hear is that, oh, they don't have power. It's a fucking giant psyop for libtards. Thank you. Look, even David knows. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. No one got mad about those broads going to space. No one gives a shit, dude. Stop watching CNN. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Oh, I think there's something today. Wait. Oh shit, I gotta go. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.